Thousands of years ago, Sigurd I built incredible engines of war, and with them forged an empire. The emperor married and sired many children. He even had a love child with mysterious Aurora, an ancient dragon in a woman's guise. Once united, peace was declared in Rivellon, and bloodshed soon forgotten. But Sigurd's realm of peace was shattered when his own sons and daughters rose against him. War returned with a vengeance, and annihilation reached new heights. Desperate to safeguard Sigurd's legacy, the wizard Maxos sought the help of the one child that never betrayed his father, Sigurd and Aurora's son, the half-dragon prince. He would be the one to save the empire from ruin, and to aid him in his quest, Maxos delivered unto him the imperial command ship known as the Raven. This is the story of Maxos and the Dragon. This is the story of the Dragon Commander. Welcome, noble dragon, to the Raven. This wonder of engineering, this miracle wrought in magic that has a living demon for a heart. Between the knowledge I shall pry from this infernal creature's cryptic mind and the avalanche of tomes, manuscripts and blueprints aboard awaiting study, we will catch up with our enemies in no time and claim back the lands they have taken by force. Our task is monumental, but we will not have to face it alone. Two famed generals are here already, loyal to the legacy we are trying to save, and therefore loyal to you, given time. I have furthermore enlisted the service of Grumio, an imp of devilish cunning that can fashion anything my research will uproot. Already he has created you a wonder he calls a jet pack. Talk to these men, get your bearings, and begin your conquest. If you have any more questions, you can find me in the royal chamber, which I shall use as a study. Good luck, dragon. May the divines be with you.
Sounds like a plan, my good man. Let's talk to this guy.
Let me tell you right of the bat, bastard, that I hold you in very little regard. Your father may have been a great king once, but this last decade, a crowned pig would have played the part better. He became a vainglorious fool, a sloth, and a coward. No wonder then that his own children could amass armies unperceived and strike at the heart of a kingdom in a matter of days. He tried to run, but he failed, and they slew him where he stood. Now the realm has been shattered, and vultures are picking what they can from his corpse by means of new and terrifying war machines. I'd say all is lost, but Maxos insists you are to be the one, the hero who will take back the land we've lost. Excuse me if I laugh in derision. Ha 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 ha! Still, you are a dragon, I'll give you that, and of ancient blood. Prove to me you have the rocks to do undaunted battle, and perhaps my respect may still be yours.
So, what's your name?
Henry of the House of Lansford.
What about the other general?
Edmund, he's called. A lizard of the House of Carcarus. In truth, I'd rather sleep with Syphilis incarnate than have him aboard, but there's no denying his talent. He's as arrogant as he is astute, and as ingenious as he is insufferable. Why don't you offer him a word of welcome? I know I won't.
Can I find this Edmund fellow?
I believe he's in the bar. Probably searching for sherry. Just about the only drink that snooty serpent will swill.
I shall take my leave. Where to next? The bar or the engineering bay?
And there we have it, I suppose. The dragon son of a monarch deposed. Rightful heir to the throne, even if he was born out of wedlock. No doubt that boar of a Henry has already introduced me in his ever-elegant way. So here I am. Lord Edmund Augustus III, Duke of Hawknest Hall. I'd add at your service, but I don't think we're quite there yet. To be perfectly honest, I'd normally entertain the idea of lending my expertise to your cause as curtly as I'd consider attending a dwarven opera. But not unlike my fellow general, it is Maxos's backing of this enterprise that has me intrigued. You have doubts benefit, Dragon. Let's see how far it takes you.
Sense a lot of distrust in you, Edmund.
When one dwells among the highest echelons of power, where ambition runs thicker than blood, distrust is your best friend, as is its brother, caution. In your case, though, the waters of misgiving run somewhat deeper. You are, after all, but a half-dragon. They call your kind dragon knights to lend an air of nobility to a lowly mixed breed. Not many make the distinction, even, but the crucial difference is in purity. Human ancestry taints your being, for humanity and weakness are two sides of the same tuppence I drop in beggars' hats. A bastard twice are you, my lord. Bastard born and bastard bred.
Your take on the war.
Only that it was bound to happen. For when an emperor weakens, his empire weakens with him. Now a litter of dogs is fighting for the throne, so maybe their dragon half-brother can walk away with it.
I shall take my leave. Let's see the imp.
Greetings, sire, sprung from kings. I am Grumio, son of Gromio, an imp of good and honest standing. Your technician, shall I be, if it pleases you. Your engineer and architect. I hope you'll like my jetpack. It is my gift to you, to keep without recompense, for gladly shall I remain aboard this wondrous ship to tinker and toy, hammer and hew. She is special, this vessel, filled with wonders undiscovered. The wizard, he feels it too. The taste, the tingle of mystery. Oh, to unlock its secrets.
Let's have a look at the results.
Righto, my lord.
Okay. Let's buy some basic stuff.
I hope your coffers are overflowing with gold, my lord. I'm discovering new things every day.
How come you know so much about all this technology stuff?
Well, my lord, when your good father and Maxos first started to conquer the world with their fancy machines, we Emps were mesmerised. None of us cared if we were being drafted into a strange warlord's empire, for if those were the weapons he wielded, we were all ready to welcome him with open arms. By golly, were we ever. Steam-driven giants on land, on sea, even in air. Oh, the ecstasy! Such wonders, such ingenuity, and jeepers, what cannons! Ever since then, some 30 years hence, us imps have dedicated our existence to the advancement of these delightful machines. Now, before those blessed days arrived, people regarded us as eccentric gnomes taken to experimenting with flame, gas and liquid like so many charlatan alchemists, but those days are over. We are scientists now, famed and fortuitous. And truth be told though, we've never quite given up our love for all things combustible. Rather on the contrary. Not that you mind, do you, my lord?
See you later.
Never hesitate to seek my counsel, Dragon Knight. Tirelessly I study and question, in the knowledge that my discoveries will make you the mightiest dragon ever to have soared the skies. We too shall unite dragons' daring with wizards' wisdom. Nothing shall stand in your way.
Tell me about War and Peace, Maxus. How did we get where we are now?
That is quite a tale, my friend, so bear with me. Since the dawn of time, beautiful Rivellon has been a stage of bitter rivalry, strife, and war. Haughty humans, all too lofty lizards, dogged dwarves, erratic elves, irrational imps, dogmatic undead, and yes, wayward wizards even, couldn't forego the time it takes for the moon to wax and wane without turning to fresh violence. Peace. The word itself hardly had a meaning. It was an abstract. Until after long and dark ages, 3 men decided they had had enough. I was one of them. The other 2 were your father Sigurd, and an eccentric inventor known only, even by us, as the Architect.
Go on.
We knew war would continue everlasting, unless one king would stand up, conquer all feuding factions, and unite the manifold battling races under the banner of a single world-spanning empire. Easier said than done was, I believe, our initial reaction.
Okay.
It was the Architect who provided us with the answer to the question how on earth we would go about enacting such an unparalleled enterprise. He said he had ways and means to provide your father, a battle-hardened warlord in his own right, with engines of war such as the world never saw. Technology. That was the solution. For if we could go to war with weapons so vastly superior as to be unstoppable, every opponent would have to yield before our onslaught. Where the Architect obtained his strange knowledge from, he never wished to reveal. But in truth, Sigurd and I cared little for his mysterious ways. For whatever the source, our plans worked like a charm, and in a matter of years, Rivellon was ours. Yes, we had done it. We had created our empire, and your father became its first and so far only ruler. For a few precious decades, peace had finally taken on a meaning. It was a bright flash, all too quickly extinguished along the tenebrous continuum of time.
From your tale I gather a mighty empire was created, so how come it fell so quickly?
Long have I asked myself that question. Yet the answer is as simple as it is obvious. Human nature. Love, jealousy, anger, grief. All of these emotions proved more fatal to the stability of peace than 100,000 war machines could. You see, Sigurd, the Architect, and I remained close friends after our quest had come to completion. But then, one fateful day, a woman of unequaled beauty arrived at court. After but a glance, there wasn't a man's heart in the room, not aching for even her mildest attention or a most fleeting caress. Your father, though married, courted her, as did the Architect. For myself, I'd admit I'd given up the very secrets of magic in return for her love, but I knew rivalry could only lead to misery. And so it did. For bitter rivals my 2 friends became, and when in the end Sigurd was the one to win her affections, the Architect left the palace with such hatred in his eyes as to strike me as diabolical.
Yeah, I bet the Architect is behind all this.
A year their secret liaison lasted. 1 year your father and beautiful Aurora were happy together. Then suddenly she died, and it took me a long time to find out she did so at the hand of the Architect. Sigurd never knew. He was destroyed by grief. The mighty warlord withered, and with him, the soul of his empire flickered like a candle in the breeze, until his own children blew it out forever and hacked to pieces the land that was to have been his legacy.
So where is this Architect now? He killed my mother.
I promise I will tell you in due time. For now, I must keep silent.
Why?
Please, don't press me any further on the subject.
Tell me more about my mother.
Though I said I noticed from the beginning her beauty was of such perfection as to be supernatural, I soon discovered she was indeed more than human, and that the enchanting guise we saw her in was but a mask. Behind it lurked the dragon. Yes, she was one of the ancients, interested in the ways of the infinitely lesser creatures we nevertheless call civilized. She was intrigued by Sigurd, his war machines, and his empire. It led her to his castle, to a brief spell of passion, and ultimately, her downfall.
My father seems to be held in little regard by some aboard the Raven. Why is that?
No one in Rivellon, save for you, Sigurd, the architect, and I, know of Aurora and how her death affected your father. As far as most are concerned, he was a great hero who all too soon fell prey to indulgence, sloth, and alcohol, which lost him the affection of his children, and in time started the war.
Okay, so they don't know about Aurora, but they do know I'm a half-dragon.
They are wrong, but truth will be revealed one day. Rest assured that when we finish our conquest and I can spend some leisure time in peace, I will write his history, and yours too. Everyone shall know the tragedy that befell him, and how his son, by the woman he loved, rose to save an empire.
So what's your true end goal?
In a few words, victory and destruction. First, we must vanquish all warring rivals for the throne. Then, we must undo the
It's behind
technology
you.
that
That's
enabled them
basically-
to go to war in the first war. Gladly
Yeah, I
shall
spent
do so.
all my gold, so I can't pick anything. Back to the bridge. I'm gonna click on something. I need to change setting. These are enemies, and these are neutral. Oh, this is also an enemy. Okay, that's all I can build. Oh, cold is done. Let's end the turn. That Emperor's bastard son gets wizard's backing. This just in, dragons apparently hibernate. He may travel faster, but he travels alone. Let's see if they have something for me.
Commander?
Care to share any insights about your
Anyone
colleagues?
in specific?
About
He's a
Henry?
bull that holds a general's rank, Commander. All balls and no brains, I dare say. But one can't deny the efficacy of his methods. I'm told he wasn't always given to such impetuousness in his actions. But with the coming of that prosthetic arm of his, came a change of character too. I'd conclude there's more to him than meets his good eye. Were I not quite so certain his psychological depths run as shallow as a guppy pond.
Take my leave.
Yes, Commander.
What do you make of the other generals?
Have in mind.
The only one I have beside you?
He's a slimy kid who happens to excel at warfare. I once met a lizard who went to school with him when he was but fresh from the eggshell. Told me he'd always been like that. Smart as a whip, but a loner too. Hopelessly assured that he is better than everybody else, and has 10 brains for every one that we have. Worst part is, he may well have. But don't you ever tell him I said that.
Any advice?
Hold your horses, Commander. We're barely out of the stables yet. Ask me again after we've conquered more than a couple of farmyards.
I thought as much.
It's wondrous, my lord. Wondrous. The Raven, she speaks to me in my dreams. She tells me fantastic things, newfangled and new formed. I can make them all for you if you provide the right resources.
So the ship sings to
She
you.
does, my lord. A soft voice sings inside my head, but only when I'm in the land of eyes shut and mind at rest. There, she guides me to glory. Shows me things not even wizards could dream of.
Let's have a look at your research. Just 1 point. It's a bit different than the multiplayer part. Oil chamber.
Praise be that I know more than 100 languages older than mankind itself. If not, these books would mean very little to me indeed.
Romeo tells me that the raven sings to him in his sleep, and that the voice is
I see
female.
now. There's an explanation for that, but I'll reserve it for later.
That the demon was a woman. What can I do in the bar besides talk to them? Nothing. Back to the map. No cards. No gold. And turn. Let's attack him.